Hello, it's me, Deb Lehigh, coming to you from her studio, the Stampin' Hut. And I'm a little early as usual, so I'll wait for everybody to catch up with us. When you hop on, say hi. I have a sneeze. Excuse me. Change of weather. I get hit with this every year, 2, 3 times a year. Hi, Rosie. Welcome. I'm giving it a couple minutes for everybody to catch up with us. Hi, Denise. Welcome. Just waiting for everybody to catch up with us. I'm on early. Oh, thank you, Gina Marie, and welcome. Hi, Linda. Welcome. Hi, Sue. Welcome. I give it about 30 seconds and we're going to get started. Hi, Laura. Welcome. All right, guys. It's 8 o'clock. I'm going to flip the camera down, go through my business part of the night, and then we're going to get started. Just a reminder, if you're not working with a current demonstrator and would like to join my Stampin' Hut, my Stampin' team, Deb's Creative Crew, Stampin' Up is offering their starter kit at 2 different price levels. You can get $125 worth of product for only $35 plus tax, and you pick whatever you want for that $125. Or you can get $189 for $99 plus tax. And again, you pick whatever you want if it comes up to $189. And business supplies are in it, but you don't have to do it as a business. You can get the product and use it on your own, and then you're done. Or if you want to stay active and get all the perks that us demonstrators get, then you want to do $300 every quarter. Okay, so that's just a little advice there. Starting tomorrow, no, today, starting today, all of our kits are on sale. Hi, Ann Wyman from Canada. All right, welcome. 30% up to 30% off of the kits. Wednesday, I have one kit here that I am gonna be using on Wednesday. It is, let me get the picture here just so you can see. It's the Road to Christmas kit. And I went ahead and I made 2 of the cards. You get 8 cards. I made 1 of each different card, but I made a scrapbook page for it. So I will show that on Wednesday. And then the Advent calendar, that is on sale. Well, it's $99 plus tax. I don't know if this is included in that 30% off, okay? Online exclusive and catalogs. If you're not working with a current demonstrator, I would love to send you a catalog. Okay, let's get started. Tonight I'm using the stamp set Branching Out. I better plug my phone in. Branching Out. I am using some of the dies, some of the stamp sets and the dies. Okay. I think I have pretty much have it all stamped out or stamped so that you don't have to watch me stamp much of it. Okay, I need that. This is my first card. Hi Shirley, welcome. I'm going to lay that over there. Now this one I will stamp. I'm using Very Vanilla, Garden Green, and Pecan Pie. I'm going to get Pecan Pie. Pecan Pie and Garden Green. Okay. I went ahead and embossed this piece. It's the exposed brick embossing 3D embossing folder. I went ahead and embossed all the layers that I used tonight. That's 4 by 5 1/4. This piece is gonna be to cut this the image here, the frame. I don't know what they're called. They're the dies. But this is the, oh my gosh, Deb, think. Garden Green. No, I watched it, but I was getting ready for my lives. Did you do it, Gina Marie? Okay, I watched it though. Card base is 8.5 by 5.5, and you're going to score that in the middle at 4 1/4. All right. And then this piece will get laid on top, the one that I need to trim that down. I said it was 4 by 5 1/4, but I didn't trim it down when I didn't trim it to the 4. Okay, that will go on top. And then this is going to lay on top of that. So now I'm going to stamp this and then I'm going to cut it out for you guys. I need early espresso. And I need the biggest one. Would you believe this? I used just brown, and it shows red from the being in brown. Oh yeah, he's really good, Gina Marie. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna take my early espresso and I'm gonna ink this up. Make sure it's pretty well inked. And then I am just gonna lay this down like so, because I'm going to cut after I have it all stamped, and then I'm going to cut it out with the framelit, the die. Okay. Now there is 3 images on one that will work, but I chose just to use the single one. It's a lot easier. You don't have to line it up. You can just stamp away. So what I'm going to do is just add my images on here. And then I added some in between here so that it's not so blank. I think, let me put one here. Okay, then I'm going to take my pecan pie and do the pine cone to fill it in. Oh, I almost dropped that on my paper. And you put the pine cones anywhere you want them. Okay. And then I'm going to open up my early espresso and I'm going to get Hello Friend. That's going to get stamped hopefully down here. I'll make sure it's on. And friend. Okay. Now, figure out which die I used. I think it was this. Oh, must be this one. Nope, must be this one. Yep. All right. This is the biggest one. Hi, Linda. Welcome. This is the biggest die, and then this is the next one down. But I want to make sure Hello Friend is on, okay? So I'm going to bring in my cut and emboss machine. Okay. And then I'm going to lay this on here. And I'm going to put some tape on it so that it stays. I don't want it to move. We're going to run that through. And take off this tape. This is Post-it tape. You can get it on Amazon. Okay. So I am going to start putting it together. I don't think I have Oh yeah, I gotta do the inside. Okay, let's put this down. Gonna center that. Thanks, Gina Marie. And then this gets glued down in the middle. Make sure it's straight. Looks good. I still didn't get any bigger dimensionals, so I'm using the little ones. They work too. I just put more on than if I would have the bigger ones. So we're gonna take I don't know if this is quicker this way or just taking them off by hand. All right. And then this is going to get on the center here of the card. Scoot that over. Open it up, and we're going to stamp our image on the inside. And I use the other branch. And we're going to get early espresso out. Ink it up like so. Thanks, Denise. Bring in garden green. My individual stamp. And we're going to stamp 3 there. Stamp 3 there. And then we're going to get the pine cones. One, 2, 3. I'm going to put one over there. 4. Gotta have one there. Okay. There is our first card. Okay. Card number 1. Now, you could put bling on it. Thanks, Lisa G. Well, welcome. Okay. Next is this card. I don't have anything inside, but we're going to do that one. And I need blending brushes and pool party, balming blue, and azure afternoon. Secret C, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. This piece is 3.5 by 5 1/4. That's going to go right on this here. And then this is the one I'm going to use for my front. This is 3 1/4 by 5. And by 3 1/4 by 5. We're going to work on that a while. And I need my paper. Okay, I started with Pool Party first. Thanks, Lisa. I think I already said that. Okay. So, Pool Party. I'm just gonna tap here, and I am just gonna go right in circles until I get the way I want it. Okay. Close that up. Go do Pool Party. Balmy Blue. And we're just going to go right on top of that. We're going to go over the Pool Party a little to blend it. Okay. And I see I have white down here. I'm just going to go over here till I get some, till I cover it up a little more. Okay. And then the next one is the Azure Afternoon. And we're just going to put that on here. Okay. And then, well, I don't need this because after I get it done and I have something I haven't showed anybody yet when I did my lives, I'll need this. Okay. Next, I need my Secret C. I need to clean my branch. Both, just the one. I'm using the big one. Try that on my pants. Okay. And then I am just going to ink this up. Okay. Then I am just I'm going to bring it down a little further than I did on the other one. Like so. I did about the same. Then I'm going to clean it off. And then I'm going to stamp the extra branch off of this. I'm only going to do this part right here. So you put it on your ink pad and you're careful you don't pick up the little one here. You can put tape on it if you want, if you think you're going to get it. Then you're just going to bring it here and stamp it like so. Oh, I need that. Then I'm going to get my single branch. You could use, like I said, there's two different. These are further apart and these are closer together. There's 3 in 1. I find it just as easy using just the one. And then we're just going to stamp our And you notice I do not have any pine cones on here. Okay. Now, I'm going to bring out my block watercolor painter and my Whisper White ink. And I'm going to squirt some on here. And you know what? Let me hit happy birthday. And then we'll do this part. It's my happy birthday. That way everything is stamped on the front. Happiest birthday wishes. Okay. Now we'll close this up. I'm going to take my aqua painters, and it says push. It has water in it. I'm going to mix this with my white. And then I'm just going to swirl it on the branches here. It'll just be a little faint when it dries. No particular order. I mean, no, I'm just stroking the edges. But when it dries, it'll give it like a whitewash. I may have a little bit too much water in it. Maybe add a little more. Hold on. There we go. Can you see what I'm doing? I'm just taking this and going around the edges. Since I put more ink on, white ink, it's showing a little better. This is the first time I ever did this. So, and one more here. Okay. Now, after I did that, put this out. I'm going to take my brush, okay? Oh, thanks, Laura. And I am going to I'm putting dots on them. I don't see them. I think they're going everywhere else but here. Let's just tap it a little. Okay. That is, I'm going to set that here, how I did this card. And let me get my chamois here and get the white off of my take my painter and clean that off. Now what I'll do is, since this is wet, I'll just turn it over and pat it down. Yeah, I will. Hold on a minute, Gina. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Oh no. But I messed it up. I'm going to bring my paintbrush back here. I shouldn't have turned it over. I'll hold this one up, Gina Marie, when I get the dots on. See the dots. So, with that being said, I'll clean that later. I'm going to bring in my card here. It's going to go on here. So, I am going to just take my glue and just run it in the middle here. And then lay this on since it's still wet with the white. Okay, then this gets on the front. Like so. I don't have anything on in the middle. So I'm just going to put this on and then I'm going to set this one aside. Okay, so I'm going to lay this up here out of the way because it's still wet. Thanks, Gina Marie. Okay, on to number 3. Is this one here. Okay. This is an early espresso. 8.5 by 5.5. You're going to score that at 4 1/4. Crumb cake, and I used the plaid 3D embossing folder, and it's going to go on the front. So I'm going to put that on a while because I can. This is going to go on the inside. Before I do, I'm going to stamp that. And then this is the next 2 dies. This would be, let me make sure I give you the right one here. Number 2 and number 3 from the outside of the dies here. So it'd be like this, and then this one goes in here. So number 2 and 3. And I went ahead and I already stamped that. Cut that. That will go here. This is just a strip of paper I had left over, and it's a half. I'm going to have to trim it down. That goes on the inside, and I'm going to do some embossing, heat embossing. Okay, for this, I'm going to need my big one, and I got to clean that. And I'm using Early Espresso and Shaded Spruce and Pecan Pie. So I'm going to get Early Espresso. Got my finger in it. Ink this up. And it's going to get stamped on this angle here. I'm trying to see if I have it right here. About like that, I think. I might have it over too far. We'll make it work. Shaded Spruce. My single leaf. Oh, thanks, Shirley. And then we're going to stamp our single leaf. Well, you could use the 3, like I said. Oh, see if I can do it. No, that's okay. Okay. And then Pecan Pie. For the pine cones. Pecan Pie pine cones. And we're going to stamp one there. Oh, Deb, come on. You know how to get that on there. Okay. And then there is dots in here. I'm bringing in my white pad, but they didn't show up. So I have something that I can make it whiter. And I'm just going to stamp some in here. And we'll put some down here. Okay. So when they dry, you can barely see them. So I have a Stampin' a painter pen. Whoops. And all I did was took that and went over where the dots were. This dries pretty quick. When it doesn't come out too fast. I'll put a couple here. Okay. My circle will cover that big blob there. All right. So that's how I made my dots whiter. Thank you for sharing, Rosie. I appreciate it. Okay. This is going to go on here. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to put glue in the middle. And then I'm going to put this on. Like so. Okay. I'm going to set that aside. And for the inside, I stamped this branch here. Better clean that because I think, not sure what ink is on that one. Bring in my two colors. And I am stamping there. I'm going to get my single branch here. Had 3. Okay, and then I need my little pine cone. Put one back here. Excuse me. Okay. Excuse me. Okay, let's bring the card in here. Put this in. But before I do, I'm going to put my strip down. I'm not going to put it all the way up the top because I have to trim some off. And that's just going to lay on here right up on the edge. Like so. Turn it over. Cut that off. And put it inside. Like so. This is going to go on the front and it's just going to get glued down. And it's up pretty close to the edge here. I did leave maybe 1/4 of an inch. Okay. Last is this here. Happiest birthday. And I need my embossing powder and my heat gun, which is over there. I'm gonna use my embossing buddy. I'm gonna tap that down. This helps that the embossing powder sticks to the paper, the words. Gonna ink that up, and we're gonna put that in the middle. Okay, looks good. I'm gonna take my white embossing powder and just putting it on here. Whoop. And then I'm just gonna tap it right back in there. Like so. Set that over here. And we're going to bring in my heat gun and my tweezers to hold it. It's going to be a little noisy, but if you haven't embossed before, it will turn really white, blurry. It's starting to turn now. I think it's good. Yep. That A didn't look right. Okay. So this gets popped up on dimensionals. I have one more after this one. Cards must be involved because I'm on longer than 10-15 minutes. All right. Let's use this. And that's going to go in the middle here. And then I'm going to use the blue flowers, but I'm going to use the white ones. Put one there. And these you can't really see with the white dots, but we'll put two there. Okay. That is card number 3. I think I like this one. The dots aren't as white. Better. Oh, thanks, Rosie. Okay, the next one is this one. This one uses some of the dies here. Okay, let me get this out of the way. Basic white, 8.5 by 5.5, and you're going to score that at 4 1/4. Just didn't look, it looked bigger than what it was supposed to. Oh, thanks, Laura. Okay. This is 4 by 5 1/4. And I did the embossed brick again. Okay. That's going to get laid right on top. So we'll do that. Okay. And then I did 3 different sizes. This is from the center. It is number 1 and number 2 from the center. And then this one, nope. Is this one here. And that is number 2 from the outside. So I use number 1, number 2, 1, 2, and 5 from the center. 1, 2, 5 from the center. Real red, basic black, and basic white. Okay. Now, if you can see, I stamped real red on this part here. And I used the smaller leaf here. But I'm not going to put as many on because you don't see it all because I have it covered. So this is tone on tone, actually. Okay, look at my fingers. You'd think I was painting Easter eggs. Okay. So get me real red. Now I'm just going to stamp. Let me get my paper so I know you can stamp on our glass mats, but okay, now let me see what that looks like. Because I stamped up like this and I want to see if this will work because I'm going to cover the center. You can make it work however you want. I did not put any pine cones on that. Okay, so we're done with that. And we're going to bring in my white and my black. We're going to stamp hello, friend. Oh my gosh, Deb. I have green over on this side. Okay. Bring in Memento Black for hello. And you're going to stamp that over to the right. And then you're going to take your real red and you're going to stamp friend right underneath. I got too close, but that's okay. You can still read it. All right, this is going to get glued on the black. I like black, red, white, and black together. That's going to go in the middle. Okay. Then we're going to put our foliage on. But I'm going to pop it up first before I do. I'm not afraid to use these little ones. I have so many of them. I ran out of the big ones. Okay, where's my tool? Okay, that will go in the middle. like so. That still looks crooked. Okay. Next, we're going to work on this stuff here. I cut 2 of the berries, 3 pine cones, and pecan pie. This is real red. And then I cut 2 brown foliage here and 2 shaded spruce. Okay. So what I'm going to do is cut the green off at the bottom of these. And they're going to get glued onto the brown. Okay. So that may bring in my handy dandy silicone mat, which has glue from when I was making the cards today. And my handy dandy tool. So I'm going to get my glue here. I'm going to pour some on here. Didn't need that much, but it'll work. Gonna lay these on. And then we're gonna take this little handy dandy tool. Gonna tap it in the glue. And we're just gonna tap the top of the branches here. Okay, we'll lay that up there. Gonna take our green and we're gonna put it on to the right one. Now they're a little different each one, so you want to make sure you grab the right one. Where'd that come from? I talk to myself, by the way. Okay, so that's on there. Got glue on my finger. How? I don't know. Okay. So what we need to do now is put a little glue on the bottom part of the stems here. So I'm just going to take this and I'm going to put some on these. Okay. This is going to go like so. This will go down a little further. Did that wrong. You want to put this right onto the top there, and this one goes over to the side. Okay? And then you're going to take the little red ones. One's going to go there and one down here. Okay? So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take a dab of glue and put it on the branch here. And then lay this down. And then another dab. and then lay this one down. Okay, and then our pine cones. One's going to go here. One's going to go there. And then the last one is going to go on top there. Like so. And then holder. Bring that in, and we're going to glue this down on the front. There you have card number 4. Now you could do inside, you could stamp if you want, you can cut more of the dies out, put on the inside. But I don't have any red ones, I don't think. Let me see. Where are these? Oh, let's do these little stars. There's some red here. We'll put this green one. I think it is green. I don't think it's blue. So there you have it. Branching out. I'll bring them all in so you can see them. Thanks, Linda. Thanks, Rosie, and you're very welcome. I'm glad you're here. All right, guys. That is branching out. I will be back again on Wednesday, and I'll be demonstrating that kit. Oh, yeah, Laura. After I made this one first, and I thought, you know what? That really is a nice set. I really like the set. All right. I want to say thank you to everybody that joined me tonight. I really, really appreciate you all. If you did not share, please share. It helps my channel. And I will be back Wednesday at 8 o'clock with a scrapbook page. And I will do 2 of the cards that are in the kit. So I will see you on Wednesday. Have a great evening, the rest of it, what's left. And tomorrow, have a great day.